All right. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Second in Command. We are a I'm Tim Simons.
I'm Matt Walsh.
We are a podcast. We examine the politics of cinema and cinema about politics. That sounds high-minded, but really...
We just watch movies with presidents in them.
Or vice presidents. And we have
or political movies.
Or political movies. We've had to... Yeah. The rules don't matter. We made up our own rules, and then we can just switch them if we want.
Yeah. Anything goes. And we have a great guest.
We have a great guest, and that's one of the wonderful things that we get to do by creating these rules. We get to wonder people in. We have Max Silvestri here.
It's great to be here. You said we get to wonder people in. That's what you said. I caught it.
We get to wonder people in?
Yeah, you said we get to wonder people in. You were sort of, I think, saying we have wonderful guests and we get to welcome them in, but you said we get to wonder people in. So.
I don't know if you guys feel like this, but we're recording like the Monday before Thanksgiving, and I have my brain is in the world of this is vacation. It is Saturday at 10:30 a.m.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? That's 100%. Where I'm at right
Someone
now.
Came over to my house at like 4 p.m. last Thursday to just like say hi and drop a thing off before they flew home to see their family. And it was like the sun was already setting. It was cold out. This is Thursday. I was like, it's the holidays. I want like a glass of spiked eggnog right now, even though it's November 17th.
I can't do that. I'm flying tomorrow. Then I can, like, the flight anxiety is still on me. But tomorrow we get up super early. And once I can do that, then the vacation starts.
Do you get flying anxiety or just getting to the plane?
It's just getting everyone in the car and the
You've got the raw turkey with you, and it's like they always at the security are like,
you can't get good turkey in Chicago. You would think the hog butcher to the world would have good meat selection. You're better off going to Whole Foods in Burbank.
Yeah.
I never knew. I lived in Chicago for a while. I never knew that we were also called the hog butcher of the world.
That was a Carl Sandburg poem or something.
It's incredible. Hog butcher of the world.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was an early 19th century poem he wrote, which if you grew up in Chicago, you would know this poem. City of broad shoulders, hog butcher to the world was once. It stands out.
Yeah, I'm not even a Chicago person, and I wish I had like a hat with those two turns of phrases.
Yeah, they get turned a lot. They get thrown around a lot in Chicago. Yeah,
I've definitely heard City of Broad Shoulders. I just didn't know it came from a poem. And it's the same poem as Hog Butcher to the World.
Yeah, he's describing the industrialization of a city that was in the middle of the farm world, and then the railroads exploded, and he was in the middle of that. Wow. Also, what was it, Devil in the White City? Did you ever read that?
I did, yeah.
That's what he's describing.
Wow.
All that. Upton Sinclair, like all this craziness.
All I took away from that book was when you design your dream house, use a lot of different architects. So nobody knows your twisted little secrets, you know? Silo information. I do that in all functions of my life. I don't want everybody knowing everything. No one should have a complete picture but me.
Yeah. They never caught that guy, did they? Or
No.
I think the book talks about him, but the cops never caught him.
There was like then the detective that was hunting him in a different serial killer in another city got put on the case or whatever, but they weren't sure that they ever got away with it. Yeah.
I don't know a lot about that period of time, but I feel like that must have been just like, is it the salad days? Is that the term for when everything's going great? Salad days?
The salad days of serial killing?
I think so.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it's like, what the fuck?
You were ahead of the curve. Well, you were doing Bitcoin before anybody was on it. That's basically, you were doing serial kill. Now there's like, you can see a million shows, you can figure it out.
Yeah.
But like
people were just getting off the train from other cities with like their birth certificate written in pencil on like a single piece of paper, just being like, I'm not on any list anywhere. What's up? I would love to rent a room. It's so cheap here.
Yes.
Gone. Just so easy to just get it done. You can move numbers.
No record whatsoever of their existence.
And also, it just kind of feels like, you know, again, like that period of time, Hog Butcher to the World. You just get the sense that there is just like scraps of meat and blood in the gutter of every street that you walk down. And you can easily just like throw little pieces out and just be like, oh, you saw a bunch of blood? Like, well, what's the difference?
Yeah, like Tim Robbins in Shawshank. You can just shake a little bit out of your big wool pants every time you go for a walk down the thoroughfare or whatever, just little couple fingers in an ear, and you're just like, this is so easy. No one's even noticing. Look behind the poster.
Yeah.
This is true, yeah. I miss those days.
Max, I want to start right in. I've really been enjoying. You are an executive producer on the television show I Love LA.
I am. I Love LA is out on HBO Sunday nights now.
And it is a very funny show.
Thank you so much.
And I have been, and I'm glad I did ask just to make sure, but I have a thing that I do when I know someone.
And you guys got picked up, right?
We did, yeah. Which is
Congratulations.
Early kind, I heard. That's great. Congratulations.
It was very nice. We're in this beautiful rare period where we don't have more work to do now. The show's still coming out, but we know there'll be more. It's like the dream of getting a job but not having to start it yet. You're just like, I'm just living in good vibes for 3 weeks or so. So yeah, thank you.
That's great.
It's incredibly funny.
Thank you.
And I really like just like texting somebody a joke that I think is really funny, just to like let them know, like I'm just sitting here in my house alone and I laughed out loud at this joke. And a couple of them you said were actually like, and this also then makes me happy. You're like, here's a broad compliment about your show. And I always feel great when it ends up being a joke that the person wrote. And this happened twice with Max.
Do you remember a joke? Can I put you on the spot like that?
The first one was that there is just... This was, I think maybe there have been 3 times I've done it. The first one was a perfectly timed Zoom drop-off.
Oh, you told me about this one.
Yes, I couldn't fucking believe how funny it was.
Yeah.
Yes, that was a well done editing bit by Emma Barry, our other showrunner. Where someone's telling a very brutal story to a conference room of people who didn't ask for it, and just in the background, one person goes off video in a really expertly timed
and
way.
it is just like the way that it's set up of everybody having their own individual reactions of how they are coping with this brutal story that's being told.
Yeah.
And one person has just decided, I am low enough on the chain to just drop off. Like, I don't have to be here and I'm going to deal with the consequences. But there was, I had to wait in the line at Canyon Coffee. What am I, an assistant at UTA?
Yeah.
And there was one that was right before that, but this is all
I really appreciate, like, even when they're not my jokes, it's so hard to kind of get direct feedback on anything right now, and it's such a rare gift that a friend's like watching something and watching it new. So even if it was something where a joke I fought against because I hated it and I felt I lost a battle I shouldn't have.
And you're still holding on to that.
And it's such a grudge that I'm like dying to talk about. I still would love to hear from you or from anybody. So it's been so nice.
Right.
Also, like, I do think maybe our tastes are matching up because the show is mostly about people in their 20s that are trying to be influencers or famous in a certain way. It's not quite our journey, perhaps,
right, yeah.
us sitting here. So I think sometimes that I do sneak in jokes that maybe appeal to, you know, straight guys in their 40
in their
plus
40s demographic.
Yeah.
Definitely there are moments like I really am enjoying it, and I really do kind of love that I am enjoying it when I'm like, holy shit, the target audience of this show is 100% not me. Like,
yes.
I am not the demographic that this show is looking for.
How do you it's a grandpa question, how do you dial into that? Because you're observing it, you're not living it.
Yeah, you know, like, I think it really all comes from the creator and star of the show, Rachel Sennett, who, like, has such a laser way she sees the world. And, like, that was the vision for the show. Obviously, it's about different POVs and there's other characters and it's not just her story. But I think, like, the process of, you know, joining the show and, like, learning how to bring alive someone's, like, it's almost like Court of Versailles type hyper awareness of, like, the codes of being chronically online if you're a certain age, where it's like you can misstep or make something cringe or embarrassing or out of date in, like, 1 second. And, like,
right.
I have a kid, I'm older, I don't, like, care about that stuff as much anymore, but she lives in a world where it does matter. You know, like, it's not make believe. Like, to misstep online, to get canceled, to, like, be seen as lame or whatever, it all has consequences. And she's, like, playing 5 harps at once. So it's like kind of learning her truly incredible, like, few people on earth probably have this skill to just see the ones and zeros, Joey Pants in the Matrix style, where you're like, girl in a red dress. You just, like, get the code, and she does. So it's just trying to make jokes that don't make her cringe, basically, and surprise her.
Okay.
How do you... The tone of the show is really interesting because you... and this will sort of maybe lead us into, like, how you got started a little bit. But I first met you as a stand-up, and I know you've always been a writer as well.
Yeah.
But the tone of the show is interesting because it's not like there are hard jokes in it. but like the tone of this show isn't necessarily like hard comedy jokes, 30 Rock style.
No.
Is that a style that you've worked in before? Is that one that you feel comfortable in? And how do you dial in the balance of, hey, we're going to go for a joke here, but this scene is going to be more about just like the joke is the feeling that the audience is getting from it? Does that question make sense?
It does make sense. I mean, like I come from like a jokier world. The shows I've mostly worked on there's been a lot of animated ones like Big Mouth, that's just like wall to wall joke improv-y type city, and then even Killing It, this Peacock show with Craig Robinson, was very like it had like darker themes of like struggle and anxiety like this show, so that was a space I lived in, but it was like sillier. It had like more, you know, NBC Peacock style jokes, and I think Rachel she's so funny in person. She's such a funny actress, and her life is so funny that I think it was trying to not make a show that felt a cartoon about her life, because she's sort of allergic to, she doesn't want to make a show that's making fun of Gen Z or like, oh, this is pure satire, these people who want to do this. Like, this is her community.
Yeah.
She is someone who like sees the world this way, believes that Gen Z has to like fight and scrap and be kind of desperate and ambitious because there's nothing is like left over for them anymore, you know, generationally. There's just like not jobs waiting, there's not houses waiting, you have to like kill your neighbor with like a knife between your teeth, you know, to survive a little bit, especially in this town, especially young as a young woman. So I think the process was always sort of figuring out, like, she would like to, you know, it's like, I think we all kind of brought different skill sets, where like Emma Barry had worked on shows like Barry that are, you know, sort of like a dark look at LA. It's comedy, but it's sort of played straight. Rachel has like, you know, worked on and brought to films like Bodies, Bodies and Shiva Baby to life that I think have this sort of like more indie film type feeling that's funny, but also feels sort of grounded in like a horror of being young or whatever. And then I'd worked at a jokier thing. And I think it was, the tone became the three of us a little bit pushing each other in one direction to make something that felt like new and HBO. Because HBO didn't just want a silly show. They wanted something that felt like Rachel's sort of like heartbeat or whatever. Like some scenes were more suited to letting like really amazing actors be kind of live in a more dramedy space. And then some are, it's not silly, but it's like these people are funny. They live crazy lives.
Yeah.
If anything, the show has to bring them down to earth, because if you told the literal version of the story, you'd be like, this is funny, but to watch it happen, this is horror. Like, it's like to be like this episode that just aired, which is about being trapped with a weird celebrity freaking out at a party, is based on a real story that happened. That's a crazy story, but if you were to watch it, you'd be like, oh, you're a young woman trapped by a man who has a lot of power. This is maybe not like funny. Yeah. So we have to find a way that you can be like, yay, I'm enjoying watching this, and not terrified for people's safety. I
apologize, I haven't watched your show yet.
Okay.
I will.
Tim's so nice to
I've wasted time on less worthy shows. I was just telling Tim we won't get into those.
Ooh, off mic, I can't.
The kind of show that like we were just defining it as, I'm not emotionally attached to these people, but unfortunately, I'm going to watch it all to find out what happens.
Right.
And I've done that recently, so I need something like your show. But my question is, in your show, can people be funny, say a joke, and will their scene partner be able to laugh at it?
I think often, yeah. It's a mix. Like I think the joke of like, what am I, an assistant at UTA? I think like the character and the actor would make that sort of cutting remark.
Can receive that,
because I think this show is sort of about these characters that are like, I think people could criticize them as like vapid or image obsessed, but it's because to kind of like navigate all these spaces in LA where you're powerless in an industry, they're kind of like, they're very arm's length. They're very like cutting comment, and like it's the jokes are the armor a little bit, I think. So it's like, this is a real, it's the show doesn't have a lot of jokes that feel like what you're talking about, where you're sort of like, oh, this is for the audience and everyone's just blowing past or whatever. It's a lot of like, you know, oh wow, we're all nervous and scared all the time. I think that the show had a thesis. It's I'm scared all the time.
Yeah, yeah, and it does a really good job communicating that without while still making you want to spend time with it.
Oh,
yeah,
that makes me so happy.
And I think you've explained the tone in a good way. It's not easy to do.
It took a lot. I mean, first season shows, it's like so hard to figure out.
Yeah.
You know, I think now we know it. I think tone you find in reverse. You don't like write like a paragraph where you're like, this is what it is or whatever. And, you know, if I was left to my own devices, I would just write like Simpsons jokes or whatever, where like characters walk in and say something insane and get run over. I don't, you know.
You're constantly writing people falling down stairs.
Truly,
there's
yeah.
like 7 scenes where somebody just falls down a flight of stairs.
Complicated wordplay and people talking like old timey. Like that would be, but I'm glad the show isn't that, you know. Yeah. To Rachel's credit.
How did you first get started in stand-up? Like, how did you get to give us every single step of how you got to
where did
here
you come
today?
out of? Like, generally, where did you come out of? What scene? What?
I like loved comedy in high school. I was complimenting you off mic where I like sort of got into alt comedy sort of like at the end of high school. I knew I had always loved Simpsons and Kids in the Hall and SNL stuff I'd seen, and obviously the film Chasing Amy. Like these were my big influences.
Yeah.
We had Kevin Smith in here.
That's incredible. I saw
Yeah.
it. Wow.
It was great.
Truly
It was
was
great.
a seminal film for me.
Yeah.
But then I got into like the original Upright Citizens Brigade TV show and Tenacious D. Like I like bought tapes off eBay and was like starting to like this sensibility, and then went to college in Providence at Brown, and they had an improv group. So I joined that, was loving shows, loving performing, loving learning about improv. And then someone joined the group that had taken a few years off college to do stand-up in LA. And he was like, so he'd done stand-up with people I'd like heard about before. He was like, oh yeah, I've done shows with Patton or Louis C.K. or whatever. And he was like, you should try stand-up. And he kind of lied to a club owner in Boston and was like, this guy opens for me on the road all the time. Really, I'd just done improv, but did a few shows in the Comedy Studio in Harvard Square, and just kind of was like, oh, this is like improv, but it's such like a more direct connection with the audience. And I think it was like, so I sort of chased that in
Was
college.
your first performance, say, in that venue difficult, or did you kind of get over a little?
You know, it's a story that I've like heard a lot from that there's something about the like thrill and the energy of your first performance where like the first one is amazing.
Okay.
You're just kind of like, I'm a natural. This stuff I just thought of in my head and said out loud once, people love. I got it. And then the next
That's what you
99
hit.
shows are sort
brutal?
of are brutal, and you're like, wait, why isn't this working? Or
Okay.
why, you know? So I mean, I didn't like become terrible the next show, but it was kind of the first one just felt like I was flying or whatever.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so I still did improv through college, but then when I was going to move to New York, I'd met some people in that scene like Eugene Merman and
Sure.
Greg Johnson and these kind of like New York guys that had shows in the East Village in the like alt scene at the time. And so I was like, I'm going to do stand up and moved down and got into stand up in New York.
And was writing something that happened, like, was it your intention to just like, I'm just going to be like touring stand up and I'm going to do that? And did writing come out of that, or was that something that you were interested in at the time?
I mean, I like all I knew about writing was from like the Simpsons DVD commentaries, which is sort of like if you went to Harvard, you could write, and there was basically no other path that I was aware of. There's no podcasting or anything where you're just sort of like getting behind the scenes looks. It just seemed like every show that I was into, like Mr. Show, which I was a big fan of, it sort of seemed like it came out of either performing or going to Harvard, and those were like the two options. So I never was like, oh, I want to jump to being a writer. I probably was doing a more writerly style of stand-up. Like I liked, even though I improv'd a lot, I liked, you know, twisty, clever jokes, stories that built stuff and built on things. I was never like a punchline guy, and probably not a guy that was playing well in like Peoria. The touring shows I did in my 20s were like
Rough.
little rough. It was like, oh, this VFW hall in rural Connecticut.
Wasn't dialed into the alt comedy
They're not
sensibility.
loving my 15 jokes about my mom catching me masturbating or whatever.
You know, I met Stephen Wright once, speaking of Boston, and I asked him, because he's like, talk about a guy who has to burn through material. Like, he is just set up joke.
Yeah.
And I said, have you ever had to MC an event? He's like, I never had to.
It's great for him. You should do
But
that.
I can't believe he never tried it even.
Right.
He never once was, but...
That was my role. Like, I was in Boston. New England had the structure that this is what I was learning about when I was doing comedy in college. Like, with all these older guys who were never going to play outside of, you know, truly Connecticut. It was kind of like you could make a living at the time, like living in these 5 states and doing these shows that were a mixture of like bar shows, clubs, VFW halls, events. And there was a whole tier system where you like, once you had a good 5 to 10 minutes, you could MC, which is sort of the host spot where you do like very welcoming comedy. And then you bring up the middle act, which is maybe 20 to 25. And then eventually you could build up to being a headliner, which was an hour. And these were people that didn't have like the traditional ecosystem of credits. It's not like, well, you've been on The Tonight Show or you have a half-hour special. It was like you could build up just through
that system,
the system in New England, and getting referred and playing to this local audience. And it was like a cash-only business that you really could, like, you support your family. And that was like the sort of ceiling. And I think because I liked all these shows that I liked and it was just like New York is the thing, I kind of like wanted to do not just that.
Chicago had that circuit because I did stand up for probably a year and a half or something. But it was that circuit. You could make a living in like Wisconsin, Indiana, Michigan, Illinois.
Yep.
And just travel. And I was elevated to like doing a 45-minute set, like way ahead of my time.
Wow. While you were doing stand-up.
Yeah. But I was not ready, and I would bring friends and basically do theater as a headliner. Like I would have audience interruptions. It wasn't great.
So it was already kind of on the road to like the stuff that you were
It was.
built
My
to do.
strengths were always going to be in that. But my point is that ecosystem you describe in Connecticut was thriving like in the early 90s of Chicago.
Yep.
Basically. And I got exalted for no reason. Like just because I was on stage.
I'm sure you were great.
Not as a stand-up.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you had the thing that, look, it's a thing.
You got chutzpah.
Yeah.
You're going to Milwaukee.
Yeah, get out of here.
Get in the car and drive to Milwaukee for
How would you like to make
$200.
I was about to say $200. How'd you like to drive through the snow dangerously with someone with a pill addiction?
Pick one guy up.
Literally, yeah.
Yeah.
But then kind of when I was in New York doing stand-up, I auditioned for stuff, did some opening things, like opening act gigs on the road where I was like, okay, there's more money here. But there was like a generation of performers my age who were getting writing jobs as kind of like the key to the next part of their stand-up career. So it was less like I read a book or had a vision. It was like, oh, John Mulaney and Gabe Liedman and Joe Mandy and these guys who were friends and peers were like, their next move in stand-up was not to like, I'm now a middle act on the road. It was like, I just got a job at this, Comedy Central sketch show, or I just got a job. When Joe Mandy moved to LA to write for Parks and Rec, because another stand-up had recommended, Chelsea Peretti was there for a year and was like, oh, you should, if you want another funny performer in the room, Joe's great. And I was just like, oh, there's a road here. And I think I had the baked in, like, I don't know, anxiety from my parents that were like, the best version of this job is 9 to 5. So I think part of me, like, looking at the fork in the road, even though writing is not at all consistent and terrifying, was like the version where you don't live on the road out of a suitcase, hoping to sell hard tickets because you did good morning radio appearances, was so much scarier than like someone with millions of dollars saying you have a job for 6 months. Like that just felt like a cleaner path. And then I loved it.
Yeah.
Just because of your performance background, had you ever considered, or was any part of this path, like, were you ever a workaday actor going on auditions trying to like get cast in things at the same time, or was that not really a part of your...
It was a little bit. I did a little bit in New York. I won't say I succeeded at it. I like did a little like part on Broad City and one or two other shows. I weirdly, before I moved to LA and became a writer, I hosted 3 food television shows. So
really?
I was doing freelance food writing for this website, Eater. That was funny. I basically was recapping Top Chef episodes and doing some stuff for Grantland about other food shows. That was like funny writing, kind of about the food world, but really just making fun of TV once a week. I was doing this while I had a day job. And through that, somebody who knew my stand-up and we'd done a pilot together was like, I'm doing this talk show with Gail Simmons of Top Chef and this chef Marcus Samuelson, and we need kind of like a funny man of the people guy. Like, they're the experts. It's kind of going to be like Top Gear, but about food, where you have 3 differently skilled people like exploring the world, talking about it, interviews, whatever. So I was like, yes, I'll do this. It's kind of the job I quit my day job for. We shot it and made the show for a new network that I'm not even sure is still around, called FYI. I think that's what it was called. It was an A&E spinoff, like a culture, whatever. And I ended up in like 18 months hosting 3 different.
Did you shoot near Penn Station?
Almost certainly, yeah. Almost certainly. We had a terrible studio near Penn Station. Yeah. And then I did the 3rd one. So 2 shows real quick got canceled. There was that one got canceled. Nobody saw it. And then I did a show that was like Amazing Race meets food, where people would like, I don't know, whatever. It was like in Vermont, they would pair up and have to like go to a grocery store via a map that was missing something, and cows would get in the way, and then they would show up with some of their ingredients or whatever. But then I got to host a Bravo show after Top Chef. That was going to be like it was like budget-wise, all of it felt like we're launching after Top Chef. They've never done another cooking show on Bravo besides Top Chef. They basically were like, our Real Housewife audiences are huge, but they don't watch Top Chef. Our Top Chef audience is huge and rich, but they don't watch Housewives. We're trying to like blend. So I hosted this show that was very complicated. It was called Recipe for Deception.
Not a great title, maybe.
Literally, that's just the start. But the premise was, if you've seen Chopped, where you have like you have 30 minutes to cook something with these 3 ingredients or whatever.
Yeah.
This show was two chefs would face off. They would have 30 minutes to each cook a dish. They each would have a different secret ingredient they needed to showcase, but they didn't know their own secret ingredient. They only knew their competitor's secret ingredient. So at the start of the half hour, they were allowed to ask 3 questions about their ingredient, yes or no questions, and that person would answer with 2 truths and a lie.
Oh my God, this is pretty complicated.
So they would start cooking, maybe having done the logic puzzle to figure out the area that their ingredient is, where it's like, well, he said, yes, it's a vegetable, yes, it's seafood, and yes, it's yellow. I don't think, so there's no way. It's like, so they'd be like, I really think it's corn. And they'd start cooking corn, and they'd be like, I'm making some, hopefully I'm going to do a sausage and corn type dish. And then at 15 minutes, they would get to ask a follow-up question. And if they guessed correctly whether that was a lie or true, they got in one more, and then they would have to change their whole dishes. So these rules, which I'm doing a quicker, better job of explaining now, were so confusing. So imagine just me whispering via ADR the whole time. So you're watching someone cook and you're like, so he's guessed incorrectly, where he thinks that it was a shrimp, but actually the lie was that it's yellow. So it is a vegetable. It's not a scallop. So right now he's
20 minutes into a corn chowder and we have yet to tell him
that it's marshmallow. Like, oh my God. So, and it was like the chefs were really frustrated by how hard the game was, by how much they were set up to fail a little bit, because it would be like, I have 5 minutes left and I've got to make a marshmallow dessert, and I've got a seafood chowder going. So it was people who kind of saw this as, they're like, I'm not on Top Chef, but I'm about to do this Bravo show, just serving dog shit to the judges, and the judges being like, this is dog shit. So there was like a lot of tempers. So much ADR.
And chefs are famously emotionally regulated.
Yes, very much so. When they haven't eaten all day and they've
you're on the floor during the show as well.
I'm on the floor doing kind of like host banter at the top, kicking it off, doing a little bit of like whispered on set. Okay, what are you cooking? Like, I'm doing the
But
check-in.
You're receiving some of that hostility and frustration as a human being.
Yes.
Yeah, that's not easy.
We had one celebrity episode where Coolio was one of the contestants. May his memory be a blessing. And he was great. I didn't realize he had done some cooking shows before. So he had like kind of like razzle dazzle patter and was like, I've got a great trick. This is how you get skin off garlic. You put it in a mason jar. Like, he was trying to kind of show off a lot. And at one point during a break, I like made some joke. Maybe we hadn't started filming, and he's like, basically, he like looked me right in the face and he's like, fucking hard. I've been trying to get one of these shows forever, and they just fucking give one to you and you're fucking joking. Like, he was so pissed and wanted this to basically be entree into
the
his
cooking
own
show
Coolio
world.
show. He'd like done a web series. He'd been on 5 of these different Guy Fieri grocery games or whatever. So that energy of just like, this is my shot. I need it, and I'm going to kill Lou Diamond Phillips with a rock if I don't win.
Wow.
Yeah.
Coolio, I mean, famously, obviously, may his memory be a blessing. Very talented guy.
Yeah.
Love a lot of his songs. Famously, not like a joke getter in that he remember at the Grammys?
You're right.
At the Grammys, he got up on stage because I think Weird Al Yankovic had won a Grammy for
Amish Paradise.
For Amish Paradise, and he got up and was like, the fuck is this? Like, I didn't give him permission. Like, he went after Weird Al.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's
churning
right.
all the butter. I could do all the lyrics to that. Is that helpful? I did own that video single. So I had a small gift certificate in high school to Newbury Comics, New England, famous.
Which I've gone back to recently. It's lost a little.
I know.
It's lost a little of what it was.
I know.
And this is You Can't Go Home Again.
Yeah.
Still a wonderful
This is because
place.
you're really anti-anime and sort of a racist way.
In a racist way. Yeah.
People have said that about you on my Discord. But I had a small gift certificate. It wasn't enough to get something I really wanted. I had a little bit left over, and what I had left over got me an $8.99 VHS tape that just had the video. The video on the cover was Amish Paradise, but then it also had a B-side of Gump, which was Lump by Presidents of the United States of America, but about Forrest Gump. Gump sat alone on a bench in the park. His name was Forrest. I casually remarked. But it was like a 10-minute long videotape. That was all I could get for the money, and I then hid pornography in it. Later.
Oh, good one.
Yeah. So that was me growing up, being like, I'm not about Weird Al stuff anymore. I'm about not even a Playboy video that's just, like girls like working one of those old-fashioned railroad things up and down, and their sundress falls off. It wasn't even explicit.
Meaning inside the case was your porn.
Yes. So as if my parents were just double-checking my video collection.
digest.
Yeah. They'd just be like, it's just kind of comedy stuff. He's regular.
I know you have a young child.
I do.
One thing that you can really look forward to that we are still in.
Yep.
Maybe on the tail end of it, but I think it's going to stick around, is the joy that you will get from introducing your child, who will no doubt be funny, to Weird Al Yankovic.
Oh, I thought you were going to say to Playboy films.
To Playboy films?
Yeah, okay, so it seems like these guys are just going to shoot pool together. Ultimately, I think it's going to get more. That's you introducing.
Yeah. These two women seem like they're just out having a great night together, but it turns out there's been something simmering.
And this sounds a little bit like a John Mellencamp song, right? It's not. It's actually a royalty-free fake version where the chorus is like, you gotta give it all up, or whatever, while they're fake playing pool and their tops fall off. No, I cannot wait to show my son Weird Al.
It is wild how well it plays.
Oh my God, I bet.
And it also,
I want to see him live too.
I would love to. I hear he's amazing.
I think he's getting out soon. Or when did you see him?
I took the kids to see him at the Forum.
Oh my God! Wow.
Sold out Forum show.
So cool.
I think he sold out 3 nights in a row. I mean, yeah, it is a little bit older now, but still comes out with so much energy. The crowd is so into it. There's a whole video thing.
Yep.
There's and in between songs, it's like, if any other artist did this, you'd be like, what an egotistical piece of shit. But when Weird Al does it, you're like, I'm so glad I'm watching this. It'll just be like old videos of Weird Al, gig wrecking interviews with celebrities being weird, and just super cuts of all the funny shit he's ever done. It ruled.
You can't sell out a 20,000 person venue or whatever the Forum is and be bashful. People are paying. Anytime people are paying money for hard tickets, I'm just like, they're there to celebrate you. Lean into it, put your face on everything, sell merch, let people enjoy who you are. It's so cool. He's earned it, and he's turned out to. I mean, seemingly been just is a nice guy.
He is a nice guy. Yeah.
Great dad, and all these things.
He sends me a birthday email. I've met him a few times. Yeah, he always sends me. That's so sweet. Yeah, he's a very nice, normal Yeah.
A journalist friend of mine, Sam Anderson, who writes stuff for the New York Times Magazine, got to do a profile of him.
We'll put a little mark here just for the name drop, Aaron. Just remind me, like in like the show notes,
Yeah.
like at that.
Also, my Weird Al birthday email.
Yeah,
is
that's
kind
even
of a
bigger.
brag.
But Sam Anderson is such a great guy, but not he writes profiles for a New York Times.
It's still going to be noted. You're not going to get out of Tim noting
Yeah.
it.
All right, I'm just trying to shout him out. I love systems. I love computer stuff. I love I love being in a writer's room because it's always like a new opportunity to how are we going to organize notes and outlines and what tool are we going to.
Interesting.
I used to be in IT before I had a full-time comedy job. I did IT at the MoMA for 7 years. That was my New York day job. I was a digital systems admin.
Cool.
At MoMA.
That's cool.
So I like computers, and in this profile of Weird Al, Sam got to see, and he's like, I'm not allowed to share what the tool is. It was almost like he had to agree to not share it. But Weird Al has a crazy database of all his lyrics and all the ways he iterates every line. So it was almost like you can see almost like a version history of a song where every single line you click a button and here's 50 different rhymes or versions and
Attempts?
How he pairs kind of, but it's not even, I don't even know if it's the recorded temp. It's his writing process is so I'm going to just craft this until it's perfect joke, perfect song, perfect rhyme, perfect rhythm. So and keeps records of it going back. So it's you can go into any song and just see this Oreos song was almost this lyric or whatever. And I just was I would kill to know what his software platform is, how he's managing this data, how he upgrades it over the years.
I don't know him. This is probably a better question for Walsh, who is very good friends with Weird Al Yankovic.
Yeah, it gets birthday
extremely
email.
close.
Yeah, I don't even send birthday emails.
I've worked
to my
with him
best friends.
before. Whatever. What's your question?
That
I'm sorry, I was in my own ego for a minute.
My own.
Al.
My guess
I gotta
is
call
that
him.
if you were somehow in a conversation with Weird Al Yankovic and you brought that up, he would be more than happy to be no one has. It's
Yes.
that thing of all I want to do is talk about this, and
Yes.
no one has ever been interested
You're
in this
100%.
before.
No one who has that system is bashful.
Yeah.
About that system. It's I don't like getting into this kind of dorky stuff. That's my private journey.
Yeah, you would probably totally bond over that. That's really interesting.
And so, yeah, we'll just do a 3-person dinner thing, and then you make a reason to leave
Well,
early.
we'll come on the show. We'll do it. Yeah,
Okay.
We'll just talk software.
Great.
We'll just have a software episode.
Absolutely. What you're working with.
What would the excuse be for you to leave early so that they could just hang out? What do you think?
He might be I was trying to think of a more famous friend I have. He might be my most famous friend. If I had a more famous friend, I could say sorry.
Yeah.
Brad Pitt would be the bad one, but I'm not friends with Brad Pitt. I'm trying to think of
Right.
That, you
Rosalia?
got,
Julia is famous.
An
I'm friends
emergency call from Julia?
with- Yeah, I could try that.
Yeah. Oh, she's going through
I'm
it
so
right
sorry,
now.
Al.
Yeah.
You two finish this.
Yeah.
I have to go emergency call. See, I'm not even
Return
structuring. I have to go emergency call Julia.
Yeah.
So you're going to come back? It's just a call?
Need a hug, Paul.
Wonder.
We have a thing.
Welcome her.
Our friendship calls have to be 20 minutes. It's our rule.
This entire time,
Oh yeah.
we've been talking
talking
about the movie Eagle Eye.
Yes,
As
we
the-
have.
We have.
Oh, and I want to. Why did you choose this
Yeah, why
movie?
did you choose Eagle Eye?
I chose Eagle Eye because I hadn't seen it since it came out, and was thinking about it a lot a year or two ago when the last 2 Mission Impossible movies came out, because they
Yeah.
kind of have this similar what if AI got overpowered and was making these decisions to affect global national security and people's lives. It had the ability to scrub security footage, do all this stuff, and I just was oh, Eagle Eye kind of did this, but I don't really remember Eagle Eye. So I picked it curious and a little bit, honestly, nostalgic to re-enter a younger, more promising moment in Shia Labouf's career. I was such a fan of his, and he's gone on his own journey, and I wish him health and happiness. But I was God, he had such a thing and such a texture, and I'd love to revisit it.
Yeah. Wow, that's a great point about I guess as I was watching it, I didn't really put that together, why this sort of felt so familiar.
Yeah.
it's a great point about the Mission Impossible thing.
He is really good. Shia's really good in this.
He's great.
He is really good. Yeah.
Kind of. You ever see American Honey?
You know, I haven't seen. I hear
It's
he's
honestly
great in
really worth watching. That was one where I was like, God, he might be one of the best doing it. And that was
He was good in Chicken too. Did you see Chicken? What was a Rooster? It's about.
Oh, is that the one about his dad?
Yeah.
Oh, I heard that's really intense. I saw some clips.
I thought it was really good.
He's got
He's really good.
When he was young, especially, like there's a certain genre of young actor. They often come out of the Spielberg factory. I feel like where it's a little like. Fast talking, I bet you got a lot of hand jobs at summer camp sort of confidence where it's like a little bit slimy, a little bit winking and talking out of the side of your mouth, but you're charmed by it. And he really is like such an on the move hustler in this that I'm just like, God, he really made every scene, a lot of scenes that could have been boring, interesting. Like him stealing money from Jerry Ferrara in a copy shop poker game. I was like, I'm all in. I want to know about all about I'd watch a whole movie about this boiler room energy here.
We're going to kick it to Historian Walsh.
I have one side note or question. Wasn't there a weird thing in Chicago where Shia was like stealing cigarettes or something? Like,
wait, really?
There was like a news, like a TMZ type. Like I shouldn't be bringing it up. I was asking you, like, was there a tipping point for his like, oh, you've sort of become a bit of a circus persona as opposed to someone we credit with, I want to see his movies.
Yeah.
And for me, I feel like there was a moment in Chicago at like a late night Walgreens. He was smoking indoors and it escalated into some weirdness and maybe a little roughness.
Yeah. Well, it was like this. It was this slow build, I think, from stories getting out about him being difficult on set that people sometimes, I think, still chalk up to like, this is the process or this is the cost of being serious about your work, is screaming at people on Transformers 3 or whatever. And then there was that kind of stuff where it was sort of like drinking, rabble rousing, why are you not making movies, and instead getting in a fight on CVS footage. And then stuff I think about his relationships came out and some physical behavioral stuff in there that I think was then kind of people were, as he was making these really intense dark films about his own trauma and journey, that I think people were like, oh, you've got to deal with that.
I'm going to throw out that I think the moment it turned was, you remember when he made that short film that ended up kind of being ripped off by from that Daniel Crowley? There was a comic book artist that wrote who I think was underground comic, like well respected. I know, like Patton Oswalt was a huge fan of this guy. I think his name was David Crowley. And Shia LaBeouf made a short film, I think called The Critic, and this was like nascent days of Twitter. Okay. When it was like where that, like kind of where that joke came from of like, it's like somebody on Twitter just chose the thing that morning. It's like, okay, guys, today we're mad at carrots. Right. And the entire day is just going to be everybody mad at carrots.
The internet's main character of the day.
Yes. It was very much in that period of time. And it kind of seemed like it was kind of beat for beat ripped off. And I think, and everybody really went after Shia hard on that, and it lasted for days. And I think that for me was the first time I saw that switch over. And then like the stuff coming out from relationships was sort of later, but that was like I remember
like he was kind of not untouchable, but it was like you had wind beneath your sails. Yeah. It was like, oh, that's a skis move.
One of our Veep writers, before we go to Historian Walsh, just one more side note, made one of my favorite jokes during that entire Daniel Crowley thing, where he didn't make a joke about Shia LaBeouf or the whole thing, but he just had a good joke about Shia LaBeouf, and it was like, Shia LaBeouf is the sound that is made when a mattress slides off your roof and the roof of your car and hits the ground.
That's really good.
It's a really good joke.
Is that in an episode?
No, it was just it was a Twitter joke.
Oh, like okay.
He was,
and sort of coldly, you're not mentioning his name.
Yeah.
Okay. The great guy.
Simon. It was Simon Blackwell. Okay, sorry. Yes, no, absolutely. I want to give credit where credit is due.
Great
Simon Blackwell.
Yeah,
it's incredible.
I'm going to steal it.
Yeah,
and I'd love to credit
Simon.
it. No, in like a generous way.
Yeah,
Simon's very funny.
Apparently,
silly man.
Apparently, Shia not only plagiarized the comic book into his short film, he also plagiarized his apology word for word.
Oh, well,
wow.
So that seems artistic and interesting.
Pretty cool.
Feels like he's playing an interesting space right there.
Yeah.
Me making this choice of Eagle Eye and then podcast appearance, a weird defense of my fellow Catholic Shia, who I believe is on a beautiful journey of understanding sin and how we're all human. I don't know. It's interesting. To me, we're all human, I guess.
He just needs to
you
find the
too.
right saint.
Yeah, exactly.
He needs to model his life after one of the Saint Shias. So his story around this movie, we take the year that led up to
Yeah.
it. So this came out in...
We're thinking about like the development period.
Sure.
Yeah, the ramping up, hiring, your PAs and your
Yeah.
wardrobe soups. 2000, September 2008, you were probably living in New York.
I was, yep.
You might have even seen this at a... Where do you think you would have seen this?
I bet I saw this in
14th Street. That
yeah,
14th
Union Square.
Yeah, Union Square.
Yep.
Okay. I saw all mine at that $3 movie theater in the 50s for a while. There was
yeah.
I would have seen that here. So entertainment-wise, these are sort of the pop culture things that we were consuming. Phineas and Ferb debuted that year.
Okay.
Halo 3 was released.
Oh, that would have been big.
Yeah.
Writers Guild went on strike. I don't remember that
I remember
one.
being jealous I couldn't participate.
No Country for Old Men came out.
I saw that
Yeah.
one. I was doing a play in New York, and I saw that one at the Union Square Theater. Union Square.
Union Square. I think it's just
Yeah,
UA
I-
Regal or whatever it was.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
saw that one there.
Wow.
Unfucking believable.
Yeah.
Crystal Skull also came out that year.
Oh my God.
Indiana
yeah.
Jones.
I saw that at the theater lower down in the East Village. I really remember that experience.
Ah.
The one that was like on maybe like 7th Street and like
Yeah.
2nd Ave or whatever. It was like
Yeah.
tall. Yeah.
Aaron, also make a note of the timestamp of the tall movie theater, and we'll just mark that in the show notes for everybody.
Incredible Hulk came out that year. I didn't know which one. Would that have been the Ang Lee one? Or would that have been
Maybe the
Edward
Norton one.
Oh, the Norton one. That one's bizarre.
Or no, maybe I'm wrong. I feel like the Ang Lee one is
Might have
earlier.
been-
Yeah, probably
Ang Lee's
earlier.
like 03.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wall-E, one of the best movies ever, came out. And of course, Dark Knight came out that year.
Oh my God. Jeez.
Leading up to this. So that's kind of the movies we were consuming. Another video game, Grand Theft Auto 4, which was... Is that the last one they released?
No,
Have they
there's
been...
been-
5. There was
There-
5.
Oh, they have done 5. Okay.
Yeah.
4 was, I think, the New York one though. So people were probably really like in the city where we were living. People were like, "This is crazy! I get to do heists here in the fake East Village." It's
Yeah.
called like
I get to roll a grenade into CBGBs or whatever.
exactly. It's called like CBDTs or whatever. Oh, satire! Oh my God,
Also Iron Man came out. I wanted to say that one.
changed everything.
Musical wise, Bleeding Love, Leona Lewis. These are like the pop hits, not necessarily what you guys were listening to. I Kissed a Girl, Katy Perry, Love in the Club, Usher, Viva La Vida, Coldplay. So that's kind of like the pop culture things. This was also the year that the Olympics were in China. If you remember that, they like cleaned out China and just pushed everyone out of the city, cleaned up all the coal smoke. Also battling in this era was Romney and Obama. This was all going on in the background. The politics. Hillary and Obama were battling, but also Romney was battling for his own nomination. The subprime mortgage crisis was brewing.
Wow, yeah.
This is what's going on. The stock market dropping, recession fears. Canada finally apologized for their Indian residential school program, where they would
Oh, wow.
do terrible things. Also this year in science, they opened the CERN Hadron Collider, the thing that smashes atoms. That was
We found the God particle, maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God, geez.
That was like the big thing.
this
big-
movie definitely
big-
feels like in the specter of the God particle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are nothing.
Yeah.
We could be smited so quickly.
Shout out
Yeah.
to your boy, Jesus Christ.
He's ours, really.
Yeah.
He's our God particle.
We had already found him, but good
Yeah,
job,
yeah,
CERN
yeah.
Hadron Collider.
It's been in a book. Happy to lend it to you. It's in a hotel. Check the drawer.
And then just dotting the lines of this collapse, Lehman Brothers went bankrupt, and then AIG asked the Fed for short-term funding so they could stay alive. Otherwise, the whole economy would collapse.
So the bailout was like November because that was like when Obama and Bush kind of teamed up pre-transition.
Yeah, the bailout happened, but everything leading up
Was, right.
was boom, boom. Everything was falling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were learning our institutions were in fact not too big to fail right when this movie came out.
That's right.
This was our wake-up call.
Just want to throw this out that anybody that's too young to remember this, because we have a lot of young listeners.
Sure, yeah.
This is right in the right
Yeah.
up their alley.
And we're deep in the Patreon right now, so these are young paying listeners.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably I Love LA fans too.
Yeah.
There's a lot of crossover in our
crossover.
audiences.
If you're too young to remember this, go ahead and you're going to be probably hearing Too Big to Fail quite a bit in the near future in a way that I'm not excited about.
Yeah.
I have a real big feeling that pretty soon we're going to be like, oh, the entire economy is going to collapse because AI.
Sell your NVIDIA
Well,
stock, kids.
I think our inherent mineral rights that Trump is going to sell to the big 8 mining industries and everybody gets $1 million check will save us.
Yeah.
Okay, great. I'll take that.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll all be millionaires.
Yeah. Consumer products also help us understand an era. So these are the products that dropped in the year leading up. Mountain Dew Voltage. Do you remember this one? Is that double the caffeine?
Wow.
See, it puts you in a place.
It really does.
Almost like a song, almost like Bleeding Love.
Yeah, wow.
I remember when I saw Mountain Dew Voltage.
When I remember I first smelled it. Memory is really the key, or the smell is the key to memory.
The key to memory.
Oh wow, I'm taken back. My irises contract.
This is not the first time that in consumer products, Walshy has led with a Mountain Dew offshoot. This is.
They're busy in the consumer sphere.
Yeah.
I think it tells a story of what people might be interested in.
They're like Taco Bell in that they relentlessly innovate.
Yes.
And that they're unashamed to evolve and cater to people's
And they're owned by the same
basest
parent
interests.
company.
That's true. Yeah. Yum Brands
same marketing,
or whatever. Yeah,
same marketing company. The MacBook Air, plug.
Yeah.
Still
came
going
out
strong.
that year. You know what else came out there? First time, Roku TV.
Wow.
Okay.
So the innovation for streaming and such was happening. This one was just a side note. Somebody had a strain of weed called Tom Cruise Purple Strain.
Hell yeah.
And it had a picture of Tom Cruise laughing on it. Wow. But he didn't sue them. He was mad, but he didn't sue them.
Oh, he did get mad though? Oh, okay.
He did get mad. He was almost publicly going to sue them. Udi's Health Foods. You know Udi's? I feel like I know them.
Yeah.
It was kind of like a health food store, like frozen meals that are kind of healthy and stuff.
Yeah.
They cracked through. And then Yahoo had a smart TV for a moment.
Oh.
Okay.
Which I don't remember.
I don't remember that.
I don't think it stuck around.
Those guys couldn't. They misplayed so many hands. Yahoo.
They're still here, though.
Somehow.
I think they have like fantasy football locked up. That's about it. I'm not kidding.
Yeah,
Right.
I think that might be it.
Yeah.
Because they had news was everything for a while. And
They paid like $3 billion for Tumblr. We're like, oh, we
Yeah.
shouldn't have done that.
Oh.
We're stupid. We're
Cool, that went bad so
I'm
fast.
I'm so dumb.
And then fashion
The
trends that
CEO in his bathroom.
Fucking stupid.
So fucking stupid.
Look at you, stupid. You think you look cute in this? You fucking idiot. You're so
Dad,
dumb.
come on. Dad.
I have a soccer game. Be right there.
Oh, God damn it, kid.
This is the locker room for the team. You're using the whole locker room.
Another mistake. Another mistake.
I knew this bathroom looked huge. It felt so big. Why were there so many closets in this bathroom? I'm so fucking stupid at guessing what bathroom was the locker room.
You should Tumblr about this, about how you're mad at me. Tumblr about it. Do something.
Why would there be running showers in the bathroom?
The kids are teasing me that you bought Tumblr, Dad. Who said that? Fashion trends. These may or may not have stuck around. So around this era, preppy vests were returning, plaids, high-waisted shorts. I don't remember those, but maybe that's women's cash.
Yeah.
Skinny jeans.
Yeah.
You know those. Did you own skinny jeans? I'm sure I
for
did.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that was me. I'm sure overdoing it in New York.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was Indie Sleaze times. I mean,
Yeah.
Also relevant to I Love LA because there is a cyclical thing to where a lot of the fashion of like early aughts New York is like what the young kids are into now in a way that, I don't know, bell bottoms came back in the 90s and you're just sort of like, I can't believe my culture is like classic rock to them or whatever. Where they're just like, it's
Well, they
it's all
call
happening.
what are oversized boyfriend jeans? Is that a thing now?
I think oversized boyfriend jeans.
They've kind of held on for a bit, I think.
Yeah, I feel like there's
Tim and I looking at each other as two women's fashion experts. Like we love a roomy.
You're
a
the
roomy
young
jean.
crowd for me.
I think there is always a subsection of every elevated casual brand that every 6 months is like, hey guys, guess what's coming up?
Yeah.
The boyfriend shirt.
Boyfriend, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay.
You know
and
what
then
I mean.
prom dresses were a thing. People would wear kind of for like a nice night out, they would go full prom dress.
Wow.
Oh,
Women
that's
would.
fun.
Which I didn't remember, but
I don't remember either.
yeah.
Wow.
So that gives you why Eagle Eye spoke to this. All of that.
Yeah, yep, I'm there.
In summary,
DJ Caruso is just taking all this in, all the lessons he learned on the set of Disturbia, and everything in the climate he is just digesting into his adult named DJ brain, which is something I certainly wrestled with remembering DJ Caruso.
I always think that DJ Caruso is the guy who was in Grandma's Boy.
DJ Qualls?
DJ Qualls.
Oh, DJ
Qualls.
Qualls.
When the DJ Caruso thing came up, I was like, yo, he pivoted.
One of my favorite, this great comedy writer, Todd Levin, who wrote for Conan O'Brien for a long time, I think it's like a 15, 16-year-old bit is that his wife is saved in his phone as DJ Qualls emergency, all caps, and a photo of DJ Qualls comes up and it's got the little yellow like alert exclamation points. And so I've seen it actually like light up on his phone and it's a picture of DJ Qualls, but then it's makes it seem like an Amber Alert or whatever, as if he was friends with DJ Qualls and he had some special setup for hearing from emergencies from DJ Qualls.
That's how
like
you
your
get
Julia call.
Yeah, that's how you get out of it.
DJ Qualls from Road Trip. From Road Trip,
not the director.
Yeah.
Show like Al, I love you. I gotta go.
Yeah, when he's low, he's so low, and I need to get him out of the hole. That's kind of how our
this is going to take a while.
And
You two
ultimately-
finish up your internet talk or whatever it is, systems talk.
Ultimately, I feel like he takes more than he gives in this friendship, but that's not a problem for right now. He just needs to get out of this for his safety.
We need to get him to a regulated place, and then we can deal. Then we can deal with
the unfairness and
with our friendship. But right now he's in crisis, and you can't solve big problems in crisis.
Yeah, exactly.
The Eagle Eye.
He directed The Shield, which you love too.
I do.
Caruso.
He directed.
That's why Chickless is in here.
Oh God,
Tim loves The Shield.
Chickless as being revealed to be a leftist voice in the war room.
Yeah.
Was such a turn, just both from what he carries from the Shield. But in the opening scene, it's like he's the one that's like, we don't have the data to take the shot with the drone strike, and is overruled. And I'm just like, you loved.
But I thought he was being set up to be an ally of the AI.
Yes.
At the very end, when they finally reveal to him, he's a believable guy that could be partners with the AI.
You're right. It's almost like the AI is like, you're the one that'll take over. You were in the Shield.
Yes.
I know you get it. Ultimately, rules are
You
just
are ruthless.
I have some notes about the Glenn Close season, but otherwise, I think it was great.
You are truly the commish.
I was also. Here's the thing. I've always been a Michael Chiklis guy. Loved the commish growing up. Loved The Shield. I've watched it a few times. I fucking love that show. Whenever Chiklis shows up, I'm like, hell yeah.
I'm always
here we
happy
go.
to see him. He carries
Always
so much
happy
real
to see him.
texture. This
was
movie
great.
is packed. This speaking of Roku coming out and the cultural context, this movie almost feels like, I think it did fine. Like the era of movies just being filled with that guys in a way that movies stopped spending money on. Like, this movie is wall to wall, like film actor, character actors, a lot of like new talent that was this was their first movie. Like, everybody was like flown in and paid to be in this movie. And I feel like very soon that the energy and the budget of like this sort of like adult thriller does not spend money to bring in.
It's a good observation.
Like, every scene I was like, you're
like
15th
Turtle
on the call sheet. Yeah, exactly.
For example,
Anthony
Jerry.
Mackie showing up.
Yeah.
late. It's
Anthony
like,
Mackie, or Rosario Dawson, who's probably on the ascent at that point.
Yeah, she's good.
Ethan Suplee. No, which one of the Billy Bob's right hand guy is
Embry.
also Embry.
Embry.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was like,
Oh, that's
everybody-
Ethan Embry?
Yeah, from the party movie.
Empire Records.
Can't hardly wait.
Both.
Empire Records. That thing you do.
Yeah. So this movie was just wall to, in a way that like it's like a warm bath. The amount of rope I gave to this film, even when I was making crazy plot moves, because I just was like, I feel in the capable hands of an adult studio thriller.
I also love the art direction of the AI.
Yes.
I bought it.
Yeah.
Like, that's a hard concept to like sell, because you're going to spend a lot of time inside the sphere of the AI, and it better feel believable. And it has since Hal had the red eye, they always like, even in WALL-E, they have the red eye.
Yep.
but it still worked.
Yeah, and you like project your own feelings about it. So when it's meant to be a good guy, you're like, thank God they have this big robot assistant that's looking at infrared spheres. It's like a chamber. It almost feels like an Inside Out. What's the thing at Disneyland? The big ball that's the future.
Oh,
Epcot. It's like
Yes.
there's just something that's sort of like Space Mountain-y about it. And then when you were like, wait, I think it's the bad guy very early in the movie, you're like, oh, now I'm so scared of this eye. Obviously, it's Eagle Eye's back.
And she sounds like Siri, which is probably pre-Siri. Her
Yes.
voice.
Yeah.
Right.
She was great. Like,
Yeah.
This has been a conversation that I've been having with my kids recently, because you know those little Coco things that are always on the sidewalk? Those little delivery...
Coco.
Those little delivery...
Oh, the robots.
The robots,
little
yeah, yeah.
robots. They put, like, the kids will see them, and I'm such a fucking grumpy old man about this. The kids will see them and they'll be like, that one's name is Bob.
Sure.
And I'll be like, you know why they give it a name?
Yeah.
And why they put eyes on the front? So you won't fucking kick it over.
Yeah.
They try to humanize it so you won't be mad at it. You will assign human feelings to this thing, and that is like taking a human's job, and that gets in our way on the sidewalk. I am very anti those things.
Yeah.
And I really hate that they are playing on our emotions in the same way that this movie is like assigning human emotions by putting the red eye on it. You know what I mean?
You should do like some sort of like public activism thing where you quickly spray paint or stencil rat features on them, just so people will kick them and throw lit matches at them,
Or
whatever
make
you seem to want to have happen to them.
which
probably
is what I
anime.
want.
Since Tim hates anime, he would probably make anime features on them.
I could do like
a huge-breasted tentacle woman or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I hate that. I'd hate if I was married to her. She would always pin me down and we'd have sex so crazy.
sex so crazy.
In all sorts of different ways I don't think I want. And then I'm like, oh, my eyes get so big.
And there are like
loving it.
4 dicks.
Yeah.
Everything has 4 dicks.
Yeah.
I would make it look like a spotted lanternfly.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they are really hitting, like, if you see a spotted lanternfly, don't be kind. They're like, tap into your base instincts and fucking kill it as hard as you
that
can.
would be complicated to paint, so I can imagine a scenario, just to warn you, where you are mounted over it, kind of riding it like a horse to get it from running away, so you can do all your spotted lantern stuff, and someone might think that, oh my God, that's actor Tim Simons trying to fuck one of the delivery robots. He's so obsessed with it, he's fucking it in the street. And you're like, no, I hate it. That's why I'm putting makeup on it, so it looks like a fly I don't like. And they'd be like, oh, okay, as they're filming, and you would just have to answer that problem.
And it really does seem like the lady doth protest too much when I'm screaming that actually I hate it.
Yeah, that's why I have this makeup kit.
That's why I have this makeup kit, and while I'm riding it and looking like I'm fucking.
I advised Tim to have a paint barn so he could take it off site so no one would see him, and then put it back on the street.
Right, kind of like throw a bag over its head and put it in your van.
Abduct it.
I'm renditioning all the Cocos in front of my kids.
Cocos, is that the company?
I think aren't they called Cocos?
I've never heard that. Yeah, I thought they were called.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, Zero Dark Cocoa. That's something.
That's something.
Yeah, I don't think the company name is Coco, but I'm committing to it for the purpose of this story.
Can you guys help me out? This is a movie that I think there are. One thing that I really love about it is that it like starts off so strong, and it has like the look and feel of a movie that I love.
Yep.
And also there's Billy Bob, which 100%.
Yep.
He's there, and I'm like, this is fucking great.
He rules.
And Billy Bob's getting actiony too. Like he's tussling and he's on the conveyor system. Like you don't see Billy Bob do that a lot.
Nope.
He got in it.
No, he's not doing that stuff in Landman. He's
monologuing.
He's delivering like so many funny fastballs in this. I'm really curious whether he did rewrites, whether this is one of those movies where it's like somebody insane did a week on it or whatever. But there's like one line he has, which is like, if you don't like find this guy right now, you're all gonna get fired and gonna have to work. You get transferred to something where you handle
with your hands.
You have to touch shit with your hands.
You have to touch shit with your hands.
Yes.
And I'm like, that's a dream line, and it's just such a slug and a scene that's ultimately like exposition-y, and oh no, the widget's now here or whatever, and it's just like, God, he's having a lot of fun.
Every note that I wrote down was Billy Bob related.
Yeah.
When he's like, you picked a hell of a time to be good at your job for the first time or something like that. I'm butchering it.
Yeah.
Like,
He handles the turn to being begrudging Tommy Lee Jones in The Fugitive. Actually, I'm into this guy, or this guy's right, and I'm still cranky. It's a really nice, it's a hard scene to pull off when he's been the Terminator for most of the movie.
Yeah, he has.
You couldn't have picked a worse time to be of some goddamn use. God damn, that's incredible.
Yeah.
That's what he says.
And is Rosario the one who actually slays the creature?
Yes.
Doesn't she
Yeah.
jam? Yeah, I thought that was interesting. Like, she got to be the hero in a way. I thought that was cool.
I do, watching it last night, I do remember that I had the same feeling. And every once in a while, this will happen when I rewatch a movie, which is I'm watching the first half of it and I'm like, God damn, why doesn't everybody talk about this movie? This movie fucking rules. And then at some point you're like, oh, I remember. And I feel like...
What is the point for you? Because that's what I also gathered from reviews. And that's my memory of it a little bit, of like, this goes off the rails. It's a little cuckoo. But then in watching it, I never was off board. And I'm curious when you felt it was like, all right.
Well, here's the thing, is that I did fall asleep for 20, because I was watching it late last night. I did fall asleep for 20 minutes, I think, at the most important part of the story, which I think was when Shia was actually in the thing. And
That's towards the end?
Yeah.
Towards the end, where she's about to shoot him and she decides not to.
Yep.
Yes.
I fell asleep for like the 20 minutes leading up to that. So a lot of important shit happened in there. But I do remember when I was watching it the first time, I had the same response this time, was that when Rosario stabbed the thing in the eye, that was when I felt like, oh, this feels a little bit like we're doing a Hollywood version of how you slay this dragon.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, I was like, that's really just the optical sensor.
Yeah.
You
And
know-
if it
Yeah.
actually uses its eye, there's something wrong with this.
Yeah, that's a
technology.
bad design.
Its brain shouldn't be there.
But they were just like, we need the audience to just know that it's been destroyed. And so how do you do that? It's like a headshot. You know what I
Yep.
mean?
I think the thinnest part, because I was on board, because it is really actiony, and sometimes I was stressed out by the goddamn phone.
Yep.
Because it would be a nightmare to, like, you better do this or a crane's going to hit you on the head in 5 seconds.
Yep.
Like, that was uncomfortable but good, like, to an effect. But I think the thinnest part maybe is they drag Shia to the ball, or the home of the AI, the sphere, the Epcot, and it's to it's ultimately just to map him off of the brother, because the brother was the only threat left to the AI.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? But it's a little thin.
his brother had put a face lock on it right before his brother died. So it's kind of the only way to make sure that I think it wasn't allowed to do the final part of its plan or whatever, where it actually
See what I mean?
Yeah,
it's a little that's
Yeah.
the part that didn't quite get communicated best. But I think it does run pretty well, and they jump around, and it's a great premise. Like that, I love the thing of like, oh no, like and getting other people's phones.
Yep. The kind of like, I think I love it so much because anytime I would like lose faith in one part of the movie, it almost was handed off to another type of movie I like.
Yes.
Like, I love Enemy of the State.
Yes.
I love The Fugitive. I love The Phone Booth or whatever. Like, I love Manchurian Candidate. Like these, it's sort of this amalgam of all these things that I really like. And so I was just kind of like, ooh, it feels like Enemy of the State. Love it. Guy doesn't know why he's pulled into crazy geopolitical hijinks. Just as that starts to get a little thin, now it's just like, turn left or I'll kill your son or whatever. I was like, well, that's interesting too. I'm down for that. Yeah. All of it.
This is also just like off of consumer products. This is 2008. Probably the first iPhone came out in 2007.
Yes, it was interesting they had such old phones in it.
Yes. And also, this is probably
BlackBerry-esque, right?
Yeah.
There were like this, he would like pick up the phone and it would be very clearly product placement from Sprint. And I doubt that now, like, product placement in movies has now changed, where back then they would just be like, yeah, put Sprint phones in this movie about how phones are going to kill you.
Yes.
And they were like, fuck yeah, get our shit out there.
Well, it was the same thing like with McDonald's. She said, look across the street at the McDonald's, and like, it's her son being held captive essentially on the McDonald's
on the
video.
screen.
Yeah.
And I had the same thought. It's like, oh, I guess McDonald's was any version of us being in the movie is cool.
I literally, one of the notes I took was, what a sick McDonald's.
Yeah,
like
that. Well, that's the rock and roll. That's the marquee. That, unfortunately, that's also where R. Kelly. That's where R. Kelly preyed upon the teenagers as well.
God. Well,
but it was the marquee. They've since knocked it down and built a different one.
That McDonald's was always the one when I would get out at the run. That's on State Street, right?
Ontario and State, maybe?
Ontario and State. When I would get out of the subway, if I went up the wrong set of stairs and I saw that McDonald's, I would be like, oh, right, I've got to turn around. Where I'm going is closer to the lake.
Yeah,
that was like, I loved all this Chicago stuff.
It was very, having just watched All Her Fault on Peacock, which is a whodunit marriage thriller, which makes a point of being set in Chicago and is the most filmed in Sydney thing that's ever existed. It's they're all just like, they're all on the lake, and it felt really nice to get the texture of the real city. The other movie that this reminded me of that I realized I was like, I haven't seen this done that much is that Denzel Washington movie Fallen, where the devil is hopping around between, he's a detective.
It's like he can touch.
So it's just when you think you've caught the bad guy, they've actually touched a taxi driver and now they're the devil. So it's sort of like at any time, anyone on the street could be the person that you have to listen to or could kill you. And the way that the movie then becomes this set piece of like everyone involved, where you're just like opening the door, you get in. Like they're all kind of, it's so ahead of its time.
That's the thing, is that that iPhone's coming out in 2007. I almost feel like this was really ahead of its time.
It is, and you read reviews from then, and there a lot of the Roger Ebert review.
Yeah, like this is crazy,
too preposterous.
Yes.
A good thriller that becomes a little bit cartoonish, and you're like, which part is cartoonish now? Is it the drone strikes populated by AI information? Is it people just kind of gig work? Being like soldiers for hire,
or eavesdropping on every moment of our lives,
changed
through
footage,
camera.
Fake news, kind of like algorithmically, just like changing the evidence of who, like all of this stuff kind of holds up incredibly. And I feel like predicts almost like this coming conspiracy brain thing of like anyone could be set up to be,
because the CIA guy was being blackmailed too. Remember, Michelle Monaghan had to get the packet from him, and she has a human moment.
Yeah,
like you and I could team up and go against the machine, and he knew he wouldn't win.
Yeah, so he's like terrified for some whole other movie he's in, where you're just like, oh, that's really well done.
Those moments I really did love, and I feel like there is another example, like the Fallen one is a good example of that.
Westworld season 3 did it as well a little bit. Westworld season 3, like the one in the city with Aaron Paul, has a thing where everyone is kind of getting like little missions from AI that they don't understand the bigger picture.
But it is just like, all I know is my family's going to die.
Yeah, and I need the money, or I need,
and I'm going to do this little part of, and I wish it wasn't this way. And that was a really interesting part of this, like not only the manipulation of surveillance, but the manipulation of individuals to help along this plan is all really, and so it is.
And so much of our tech, like you could reverse the train because it is running on a computer program. Like in any city, that's a possibility. Or the cranes, obviously operating by computer.
That was a great set piece.
The
trash yard. Like picking the car up and hitting them and just clearing. I was like, this is cool. I live for a movie where there's set pieces that could only exist in this sort of narrative setup, so this idea of like the main character being forced to go in there because a computer is like magnet controlling. I was like, this is 101, like I love a movie like that.
So essentially
all the zombie cars in Fast and the Furious 7 when like they were like turning all the OnStar or whatever, and they're just like
So this AI is essentially improvising their escape to her. That's why, because it does seem very random. Jump out of the car in 5 seconds or you'll drown. Like, you're kind of trying to figure out, like, what is the plan here? But in reality, story-wise, that AI is trying to figure out, how do I get this couple away from the cop, the feds, whoever, because I need them to get to me.
Yeah, in D.C. or whatever.
And so you don't really understand it. So it seems random, but it's really cool.
Yeah.
I love all the things of, like, wherever he looks, like he'll hack the signs to say like turn left, Jerry. You know what I mean? I loved all that. And I had completely forgotten the reveal that it was an AI thing. Had completely forgotten that from the first time I saw
You
it.
thought it was like a Chickless type kind of.
I thought
Puppet
that,
master, like a
Yeah.
human puppet master.
I think I thought it was going to end up being deep conspiracy, and the woman on the phone I didn't think was the woman running it,
Okay.
but that they were going to be a part of a more human conspiracy running this thing.
Yep.
So when it was revealed to be a computer, I was like, oh shit,
Yeah.
great move and great.
Computer that loves the Declaration of Independence.
Yeah.
Beep, boop, 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 boop. Like
what
we the
link
people.
that to the ethos of why she's doing it? Like she does say this is for America, essentially, right?
Yeah.
But what is the link? Like knowing all information, like any foreign threat, domestic or foreign.
I think by making.
This is where I fell asleep, so I actually do really
I think and it's a tough one because I think
This
the
is
info,
her ethos. She's saying this is what I'm about.
that by attacking a funeral based off bad data in the opening scene,
Yes.
there was retaliation, and American soldiers, citizens, have been killed, and terrorist attacks are going to happen. That's going to risk our country. So the people involved in the chain of command, which is basically the president, shout out the name of this podcast, down into Chickless, basically, are all traitors. And as defined in the Declaration of Independence, you can kill traitors to the country.
I didn't get that she was against that bombing at the beginning of the movie.
It's weird because it's like 54% or whatever it is, and
Yeah.
you're just kind of like, well, it seems like she must be involved with the drone part of it, you know?
Right.
So you're kind of, it's not clear, I agree, that it's like her being like, don't do it.
Yeah.
Bad data.
Yeah, and it also seems like a computer would be like 54% is still
Pretty good, yeah.
pretty good.
But I
mean,
guess you're supposed to feel, and it's tough because it's like over video, that the president is like, I go with my gut.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
like, I got a good vibe. Do it. And while she's got all the face data or whatever.
To be fair, George Bush was the decider.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
He was the
He
decider.
called
fair.
himself that once.
Yep.
Yeah.
oh,
Those are-
that's cool.
The decider.
I am the
Trying to give himself a nickname.
Well, he's like, I'm not just a puppet of Dick Cheney. I'm the decider.
I'm the decider.
Mission accomplished. W had already come out, by the way, before this movie came out. So
I've never
just to
seen
give
that.
you a sense of
Okay.
We watched it for this, and honestly, it's really worth revisiting. One of the big discussions that we were having was like the reaction to it at the time was almost like that thing of like, oh, we are too close
Too
to
much,
this.
too fresh. Yeah.
Brolin
much,
is
too fresh.
amazing.
Right.
Josh Brolin.
An incredible
is
cast.
so good,
Yeah.
though. It's an incredible cast.
I think
yeah,
it's a
James
much-
Cromwell, unbelievable as Daddy.
as HW.
Oh.
Tandy Newton as Condoleezza Rice.
Wow.
Just fucking feasting. She's great.
Tandiwe Newton.
Who plays Mama Bush? I forget.
Ellen Burstyn.
Ellen Burstyn.
Damn.
Yeah, it's good.
Those are all killers.
Yeah, it's good.
I have a friend. Do you ever listen to Blank Check?
I never have.
I think it's something you would enjoy. But I was working on Draft Day. This is like a story that
Oh, sure. I mean, I'm aware of the podcast, and I know of your deep connection to.
Oh yeah, so I was
well,
working
yeah.
with Griffin on that movie, and Ellen Burstyn was in it. She played Kevin Costner's mom, and Griffin is a very nervous talker, and it was like his first like big movie, and not like I was a seasoned pro at that point, but we were in the makeup trailer. And like how there's like there's that upper part of the makeup trailer that's
Yeah.
a little more private.
Sure.
The door was open. Ellen Burstyn's up there. And Griffin is just, God bless him, talking way too much for too early in the morning.
Yeah.
And Ellen Burstyn looks down.
Ellen burst in. So,
Ellen,
She burst in
She
lower
burst
room.
in.
Yeah.
From up on the second level. She just went, Griffin. And he was like, in his heart, has told me, so excited that she was going to talk to him. And he went, oh, yeah? And she goes, try silence. And he was like, I mean, like, yeah, Ellen Burstyn
Wow.
was
That was
not
Not
afraid.
wrong.
Yeah.
She's not
She's
wrong.
not wrong.
That early in the
Chatty
morning.
trailers.
Chatty
not great
trailer
for
early in the
everyone.
morning. No, we got to shut it down. I love Griffin, but she's right.
All the actors that you listed that are in W all feel like people that would not let themselves lose a scene, like roll out, like truly out of film in a way of like, I'm going to be the victor.
Yeah.
And that's probably why it's like an electric combo.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen the movie Blue Collar?
Richard Pryor?
yes.
Yes.
Holy shit.
He's great in that.
So great. It's Richard
Yeah.
Pryor, Harvey Keitel, and Yaphet Kotto as these three scumbag
Detroit dudes.
office car.
Like line.
Yeah, line workers who like try to rip off their union that's corrupt. But it's got a very cokey, improv-y 70s, 80s feel.
Yeah.
And I read after that Paul Schrader told them all separately before the movie that they were the lead. That the script was that they were the star of the movie. So they went into every scene, also probably coked up, confused why the other guys, angry, were tagging dialogue and not letting stuff go. So scenes would just get longer because they're kind of like, this is my scene where Harvey Keitel, who's got the main marriage problem, is talking, and why is Richard Pryor trying to, so the whole movie has this energy of these three hyped up drug assholes all trying to win constantly.
Yeah.
So chaotic.
It turned out well.
Yeah, it's a great film.
Oh God, I did not see it until maybe a year and a half ago,
same.
and it like really fucking catapulted up. Of like, I wish I had been spending my entire life with that movie.
It's so good.
fucking
It's a great
So
time
good.
capsule.
That is also a thing that we've talked about before, just as a quick side note about. We haven't caused a lot of controversy on this show,
Okay.
but Walshy was at one point talking to a director about director manipulation.
Yeah.
And it caused a lot of people to make comments. As you can imagine, they had somewhat missed the point of what Walshy was saying.
They were being like, that's so messed up that a director would
I
ever-"
heard a director once. I'll give you, and for our fans who we love, I'm not entering into a. Well, I don't read the comments much, anyways. But my point is, when someone takes footage from like, okay, we're just going to set a light, and you sit here and you, worst case, you pick your nose, and they put that in the movie,
Right.
so you're like an unwilling animal.
Yeah.
And it's like, don't worry, I know how to take care of you. Like,
Yeah.
they're not taking care of you.
Yeah.
So I don't like when directors pull things that you didn't know.
Okay.
You were aware of, or were going to be in there. You know what I mean?
I understand that, yeah.
Okay.
Especially when it's like unflattering or it's like,
Yeah.
you weren't on.
Yeah. Ask me to give it. Do you want me
Yeah.
to pick one? Okay,
Yeah.
roll.
Yeah.
I'll do it.
Yep.
Don't be sneaky about it.
Yeah.
And so people were upset. They're like, oh, well, that's the director's job. They were kind of attacking Walsh for not understanding the idea of what a director's
So
job
these
is.
fans of the podcast were telling the person who's worked on on scores of sets how directing works.
Yes.
A director's
who
job.
has also directed, who has also directed himself.
Yes, yeah.
But really what it comes down to is this idea of like manipulation versus collaboration.
Yeah.
And so like
Yes.
there is a part of me that loves hearing that story of Schrader trying like psychodical warfare on three cokeheads.
Yeah.
But also
this isn't free theater in the park. You know? Like it's what the money's for. You're there and they're rolling. It's none of your business how the footage is used. And honestly, your problem if you watch it at the end. You're not being paid to watch it. So just be the puppet man for the guy who's
We're
controlling
here
the
to
puppet.
put butts in the seats. So get in front of the light, young man, and do what I say.
The sweater looks hot. Take it off. Huh?
I love hearing those stories, but then also in the back of my mind, I'd be like, man, that probably would have fucking sucked. Like as an actor to feel manipulated is never a great feeling.
Yeah, or you sometimes hear that movie broke a certain actor, like, wow, that's not worth it.
Yep.
Probably.
No. I saw. Yeah.
Are cocaine not good enough for you? Is that it?
Kubrick terrorizing Shelley Long.
For example.
Sully Duvall. Sorry.
Yeah.
I do think there's a spectrum though. There's Stanley Kubrick breaking the mind of a young female actress to get what he needs in a sprawling, goalless production or whatever. And then there's just, sometimes you need an actor to say a word because the next scene doesn't make sense unless they say by 2 p.m. Or whatever. So you're just like, if I have to trick you into saying like we have to do this by 2 p.m.
There's never
what time is lunch? Hey, Harvey, what time is lunch? I think it's at 2 p.m. Cool, got it. Moving on.
Yeah. Now the next scene works that you didn't even read. Bye. That's how I feel.
All right, we should start wrapping up.
Yeah, we should start wrapping up. All right.
2 questions we always ask.
Okay.
Did you have any other points about this? We kind of are.
Yeah.
No major points, just other than I was so startled by my own notes because I used to even like write a column about like schlocky blockbusters or whatever years ago, and it's like, oh, it's fun even when you like something to make fun of the stuff that doesn't work or the big swings, the bad performances. All my notes are like, that's so sick. This was so sick. I love the way Shia calls guys sir when he's being a little asshole. Like there was all these notes of things that I just was more impressed than I expected to be. So like
good.
Eagle Eye, worth the rewatch. 100%. Holds up great.
Yeah. Would you vote for this president? As much as you know of this fictional president.
No, because he is in his one scene, no disrespect to the actor, but such a non-presence, like if you're meant to be like, this guy's all charisma and grab a beer energy versus data or good foreign policy, it doesn't really come across. I'm like, I'm not buying that this guy's a good hang, and obviously politically I don't maybe align with good vibe drone strikes.
Yeah. I got a good feeling about this one.
I don't know. I'm not watching the footage, but just do it.
They're definitely carrying a casket, sir. Hit it.
Oh, is it a small casket for a big gun? Small casket,
Funeral?
big gun? Yeah.
Then the second one is, who has the Shimizu heat? Tim will explain the Shimizu heat.
The Shimizu heat is based on Walshy and I. We discovered when we were first working together that we had been going to see the same dentist for many years. Can I say, actually, this is wonderful that you're here. The first movie that I saw in a movie theater after like the pandemic was Wrath of Man. I saw it with Max.
Yep.
We went together.
Okay.
And at one point I leaned over and went, that's my dentist's office. I don't know.
I remember that. Because we were the only people in the theater. It was this incredibly loud Burbank IMAX that is not built to not have bodies absorbing the sound, because we did it daytime. So
it's a very cool building, though.
Yeah.
I know the building very well.
Yeah, I remember that.
I leaned over. This is my dentist's office. So that is Dr. Peter Shimizu's office.
Wow.
This is the dentist that both Walshy and I had. And we noticed that during around season 3 of Veep, you know how you go to the dentist, the hygienist does the cleaning, dentist comes into the very end, looks at the x-ray, says, looking great, come back in 6 months.
Yeah.
Season 3, he started coming in halfway through, tapping out the hygienist and finishing it up himself, and like talking, how's the family, how are things going, saw the show, all that. And Walshy was like, hey, is he doing this for you too? And I was like, yeah. And Walshy was like, we've got the Shimizu heat. Like something is happening. He wants to get FaceTime.
I love this.
It means you're on the ascent.
Your career is moving. It's penetrating.
So
I remember when my dentist told me that John Singleton was in the chair one room over, and it was him acknowledging that I was in the business, and I was like, well, I currently have a tooth removed that you're putting a crown on, and I'm in a slightly different field than John Singleton. We don't overlap professionally a ton,
but
less now that he's passed. But.
You had enough heat that he thought
yes, exactly.
he respected you in a way. He was like, I should connect you guys because you both got heat.
Yes.
So the Shimizu heat for this movie is like, who do you think was on the ascent?
Actor who's coming out of this with the Shimizu heat?
Yeah.
Coming up.
It's like, I will say, even though like Shia might be the kind of like, because he's a young gun, he's too established.
He'd already done Transformers.
Yeah. I think Rosario has a little bit of like, what's up when she comes into the movie.
Yeah.
You give her character that's kind of an annoying, you're like, you're not as fun as Billy Bob. You're a little more stick in the mud, but like, she gets to like win against Billy Bob.
She goes toe to toe with him.
Toe to toe, and is like, I don't work for you.
Yeah.
And she's also Rosario. I forget if this was before or after Unstoppable, the Pennsylvania train movie, where she's playing kind of the like the person trying to solve the problem of the train. So
I think this is pre-Unstoppable.
Before, so like this is a transition to this kind of like. You've got this gravitas, which is unusual for a young, very attractive female actor to get put in this role and not feel like it's a little embarrassing. Like sometimes movies like this have an eye candy where you're like, I don't really believe that Denise Richards is Dr. Christmas Jingleberry or whatever her name is, and Tomorrow Never Dies.
Dr. Christmas Jingleberry.
Or Liv Tyler is the
but like Rosario, I'm just like, I believe that you absolutely elbowed your way into this role, and I want to see your next film.
Yeah.
Okay.
I agree with that 100%.
All right. That's it.
All right. That's it, guys. We've been Second in Command. You can find us on Patreon. Patreon.com/Second in Command. The entire Veep rewatch that we did is in there if you're interested in that. First episode of every month is free. After that, you got to pay to subscribe. We hope you enjoy it. Max,
what's the name of your podcast again, just to tell the folks?
Please check out the podcast I Need You Guys with Gabe Liedman and Jenny Slate. You can search I Need You Guys wherever you get podcasts. And watch I Love LA on HBO.
Yeah, love that.
Thank you, Max.